Good day and welcome to the Budding Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Bridges. In each episode, we dive into practical business strategies that you can put to work in your business right away. We also focus on inspiring stories from leaders who are shaking and making things happen in their industry. It's all about giving you the tools and insights to take you and your business to the next level. So get comfortable and let's jump right in. All right. We are on episode 165 of the podcast. Today is Friday, September 13th, 2024. Special day for me because it's my birthday. So we're getting a little late start on the podcast today, but that's the way that it kind of goes sometimes. Now, this month, we've been exploring Agile Leadership. And today we'll dive into 3 of the most common areas where Agile Leadership gets implemented in a business. Now, this is week 2 of our focus, so today we're going to concentrate on the steps you can take to incorporate the Agile Leadership into your top circle. But first, we'll start with a quote from Warren Buffett and then jump into our main topic, which covers those 3 key steps. Warren Buffett once said, "In looking for people to hire, you look for 3 qualities: integrity, intelligence, and energy. If they don't have the first, the other 2 will kill you." Now that's a fantastic quote. It's a great segue into our discussion because the steps we're about to cover will require both intelligence and energy, but more than anything, they'll require integrity. Okay, so let's jump in right now and go into steps to implement Agile Leadership. Now, when we get into these 3 common implementation steps, we want to be looking at where the most benefit can be gained for your team and your organization. Now, the first thing that we focus on is adopting an iterative planning approach. This comes directly from the Agile world of software development, and this is where we're using short cycles, what they call sprints, to plan, execute, and review progress. Now, in software, this is normally 2 weeks. But for us, many times, I'm looking at this in terms of a 1-month process. The second part of adopting an iterative planning approach is we want to establish milestones that allow for frequent adjustments and improvements based on team performance and customer feedback. And that'll become very important when we go and look a little deeper into this a couple of steps later. The second area is to integrate feedback loops. We want to regularly review our processes with the team and incorporate their feedback that comes maybe from the customer, maybe from the team itself, right? This is where we as leaders have to trust our people. This could be through sprint retrospectives, that's what they call it in the software world. We can also call it performance reviews of a project. The idea is to allow for continuous process improvements along the way. The third thing to add in here is prioritizing the customer's voice, or what some people call voice of the customer. We want to encourage our teams to gather frequent feedback from clients. We're not just working on this by ourselves. We're actually working in an environment where our client and our customer becomes integral to how successful things are. And we want to use this data to guide our iterations in the product or service improvements, ensuring that customer satisfaction is at the forefront. I like to add a couple of other things to this because you can work in 3s and it's good, but I like to think of things in terms of priority and then secondary. So these are additional steps, almost like a secondary process. The first of these additional steps is to create an open communication framework. We've harped on this. This has been all the way through all of the leadership. You want to implement channels to regularly share updates, feedback, and ideas. It's a 2-way channel. Right? Some people use Slack to do some of this, and other people use different processes. A lot of companies have daily stand-up meetings and their sprint reviews and their retrospectives to kind of understand at a high level where things are working and where they need to improve. And the last thing that is an additional step is encourage empowerment. once again, the whole idea of Agile is that you are providing the resources to your people in order for them to be successful, and they have to produce based upon those resources. So if you're training your leaders and your managers to delegate more responsibility to their teams, life is going to be a lot easier for everybody. It's a lot easier to measure what somebody's done against some of the things that you're looking at from a responsibility point of view. And you also want to provide tools and coaching and resources to make decisions and take ownership and ultimately work independently. That makes everybody's life so much easier. So today we've discussed 3 main areas and 2 additional ones where Agile leadership implementation can make a significant difference. We're talking about shared accountability, adapting quickly to change, and focusing on incremental improvements. Following these steps will create an environment of flexibility and high performance within your leadership team. Looking to next week, we'll be shifting gears with the first of 2 interviews. I'll be sitting down with a leadership consultant that I know, and we kind of fall into the same category together, but he's focusing at a much larger target than I am. So it doesn't really bother me that we are both, sharing information back and forth. And then the week after that, I'm going to be bringing in a private wealth advisor who's adopted Agile leadership in her high impact work as well as within her company. You won't want to miss either of these. That's it for this episode. I hope you picked up some valuable insights and maybe even sparked a few new ideas. If you want to keep the conversation going or maybe even explore partnerships, don't hesitate to reach out. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. The steps you take today could be the start of something big tomorrow. For the budding entrepreneur, I wish you the best in your health, your wealth, your business, your family, everything about you. Take care, and we'll see you back here next week.